I'm going to try this one more time because I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't care what, I mean, I'm not even listening to myself. And honestly, I wouldn't mind if none of you were listening to me either. I would understand that 1,000%. But I think I got the audio. I think I have the audio squared away. But more importantly, I think I have the geoshell squared away. I think there was something wrong with my iClone, and I had to redo it. I'm not my iClone, Character Creator, so I had to reinstall it. So those of you that are a glutton for punishment, and I certainly am. I'm back again, and I'm going to show you this thing. Damn it! And whether I'll probably have to edit this way down when I try to put it on my stream, so I wouldn't subject you people to these live tortures. But anyway, here's the geoshell. Now let me show you what I did. I did this in the live stream too before. I know we're in the live stream now too, but I did this previously, and it still didn't work. But for some reason it works now. So here's what I did. I brought in the Genesis 9 figure, loaded the cyborg suit, which is the geoshell suit, onto them, and then I unparented it. I went and unparented it, so it just was sitting there. I thought I had tried that before and it didn't work. Who knows? I don't know what order. But that's the order of things you have to do. You have to bring it in, load the geoshell. You have to load it on anyway. You can't just drop the geoshell in. You have to put it on the character. And then you have to unparent it. Click on this and unparent it. That's all you have to do. And then export that. And then this is how it comes in. And it comes in as an accessory. You can change this and you can make it hair, for example. But that's the only two options you have, hair or accessory. So you might say, well, Mike, this doesn't look like this is useful at all. And I would tend to agree with you. But this is what happens with geoshells. They come in, and the first thing that happens is they come in an A pose where your character doesn't. So the first thing you would have to do is match up your character to the suit, shell, whatever you want to call it. So usually what I do is I go to content and make sure I have the character selected, and go here and go to not Santa. I already showed you the skin there. Go to animation and poses and calibration and OpenAI, and that one is pretty close. You can try some of these others. There's a number of A poses here. You can say, actually, I think that one fits the best. But there's a few that you can try here. You can see that you can get closer or more or less close. But in any case, whatever pose you use, you're going to have to do some moving around. So that's what you're going to do. So essentially, you're going to go to the character. And the reason I had these all broken out, and somehow, because I'm a very old man, I forgot that I did all this, is that I didn't want to go through all this to have to show you all this. But I'll show you a little bit of it, so we won't go into too many details, because number one, I don't think there's anybody else that fell back on the stream. They probably went, no, I've had enough. I understand Kelleytoons, or Kelleytoons. Kelleytoons is my website. Kelleytoons doesn't know what he's doing, and I can't hear him anyway. But so in any case, so what you're going to do is you're going to pose this guy. So you're going to edit the pose, turn on symmetry, because you want everything that you do on one side to be symmetrical to the other. Unlock the feet. If you unlock the feet, then you can go down here to the feet and select the feet and move them so you can align them up as much as possible to the legs. And again, I'm not going to go through the process, but you can get really, really close to this. You'll have to play around a little bit, and also remember that everything's part of the. What I'm trying to say, it's all hierarchy. So you need to basically kind of work with it and get it in like that, and you're gonna do all this. I'm not gonna go through all this because it's boring, and like I say, there's probably nobody here anyway at this point in time. But I'm amusing myself, if nothing more, which is what I usually do. The hands are the toughest part, but you're gonna have to do those too, and you can see the rest of it's actually pretty good. I think I recommend moving the chest, rotate it slightly back or forward. I can't remember. No, it's not that one. Which is it one? I can't remember which one it is. Oh, wait a minute. It may be already attached to it. That's another thing that you have to do, is make sure that the suit itself as an accessory is not, it is, yeah. You got to make sure it's not attached to it. So you come down here, and it doesn't look like it's attached. No, it's not attached. It's just a prop. Okay, good. So you want to come in and you move the arms and the legs, and it's a pain in the ass. And if you really want to see that someday, I'll be glad to show you how it takes me, I don't know, typically 10 or 15 minutes to get it all ironed out and suited up. And then once you have it, the geoshell match up, you might say, well, that's great, Mike. Now all I have to do is make this into clothing and apply it to there, and then it'll match up. And then I can hide the underlying skin. And yes and no. There's 3 tricks to this that you have to know what you're doing. The first trick is if you do that, if you go to the scene and go, okay, I'll just take that geoshell and I'll go to modify. And the first thing you have to always do is attach it, because you can't make skin out of something. It is attached. So you'd have to, if it wasn't attached, you would have to attach it. So it's already attached to the hip. You'd attach it. When you're posing it, like I was doing, you have to make sure you detach it. And I didn't do that. I should have detached it, which is why when I was trying to pose it and move the upper body forward and back, it was also moving the suit. But you don't want to do that, so you want to make sure you detach it. So then, when you've done all this that you're doing, then you want to attach it to some part. It doesn't really matter too much where it's attached. Central place is a good place, so pelvis is good. That's okay. And then you go in to create transfer skin weights, and then you go ahead and hit the default, and you go there. Remember, we're going to hide all the skin that's poking through, and again, essentially you make sure that not much was poking through, and then you're set. That's perfect. Then you don't have to do anything more, right? No, that's not true. So if we go to content and we go to pose, if we take, like, say, let's find another pose here. We go to, let's go to a female pose. It's a female model there. You go, look. Now, I want you to notice something. The feet and the most of the body did move correctly. The thing that didn't move correctly are the hands and the head. And I can show you that in a second, but specifically by moving something. But the feet are fine. And as a matter of fact, if we go in here and modify scene, okay, Genesis 3, modify, because this is what you would want to do anyway. You would want to go ahead and hide the mesh. And you probably want to hide all of it. If you're going to use the entire geoshell, in other words, you're not going to have any part of the human show through, you'd want to hide all the faces. That's just the easiest. Now, you can hide certain parts, and that was the other things that I was going to show you, but I may save that for another time when I'm not doing this live, because I don't think there's anybody to watch it anyway. But in any case, so you could do this, and then, like I say, you go in and you put different poses on it. Let's put one where she's moving her fingers in some manner, so you can see maybe this. Trying to see where she's got her hands. Oh, there we go. She's got her hands moving. So you can see that the legs and the body and everything are great. Oh, that's fantastic. Assuming that I had it all matched up, I would have it pretty good. That hand looks decent, but that hand is not doing what these hands are. If you can see this up close, this hand is actually in a fist. And as a matter of fact, if we show you the actual skin part of it, you'll see that the skin is a fist. Plus, if you look at the head, the head doesn't look really good either. The head didn't move into parts. So what is happening here, folks? What's happening is that you can do this basic process. You can go ahead and match it all up, but then you're going to have to break up this thing before you create clothing out of it. You're going to have to break it up into 3 distinct parts. One part is everything but the arms and the head. I don't know, you could call that the torso or something. The other part is just the arms. That's gloves, because you're going to use the glove mapping to make that work. That's why the fingers will follow it. And then the last part is the head, because the head will have to have a special kind of mapping. It's kind of like a helmet sort of mapping, because the head moves and it's not going to include the neck part of it, because the neck will distort, but you want just the hard parts of the head. Usually most geoshells come with this kind of opacity mapping that help you achieve all this. And had this worked from the very beginning, and had I not had any audio problems, and had I not had any problems with Character Creator and had to reinstall it, I would have shown you all that. But since there's nobody here right now, rather than do this live, it's already 10 to 5, I have things I have to do, and I'm not going to just do this for myself. So I will show that in a tutorial, assuming I get the time within the next week or two. We'll see how we go. If you want to see that, go ahead and write me. I'll probably post some of this. I'll post this little cutout video that I made to show you that it actually can work, and then we'll talk about the other parts of it in my tutorial. Unless you want to see it live. If you ever do want to see it live, like I said, go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I'll decide whether it's worth doing live streams anymore. So far, with all the technical problems with my audio, I'm not so sure I really want to do this again. But again, my audio was brand new. Let me see if I still, yeah, it's still working. I've got it all working now, so of course I do. I just had to have some problems along the way. So hopefully you at least a few people will have seen this part of it. Like I said, I'm going to post this on the tutorials. You'll hopefully see this. And then I will follow up with the rest of the geoshell. The bottom line is 50 to 80% of geoshells can be successfully used. The only ones that can't are the ones that get very tricky with how many pieces are hid. So, for example, if you needed to hide like this pelvis area, it's going to be tough because you're going to have to cut out the faces, and that's going to be difficult. It can be done, and I'll be glad to do it if somebody wants to, but I'd rather not try to show you that now. Now, the other thing about this is, I started to say this too in the other stream. You probably didn't hear that because I'm going to cut this down, but this doesn't just apply to dads. This applies to any clothing item or anything you want to bring into a character. There are 3 distinct types of items that fit to an avatar in Character Creator. Those are body, which includes the legs and the feet. That's all one thing. It doesn't include, it's not shoes. It's the whole body thing here. It's gloves, and then it's the head. Those are 3 distinct parts. You may need shoes. It depends upon if you're actually going to move the toes and things around. You could use shoes. I don't think we can move toes in there, but I think there's a toe. There's an up and down for the toes. That would have to be shoes. So you could also add a 4th part if you wanted to. But for sure, you need those 3 main parts. If you're only bringing in parts of it, like, for example, you're only using the geoshell but not the arms, then you don't have to create the gloves. Same thing for the head. If you're not using the head, you don't have to create that head as a separate piece. But I will show you all that in a tutorial that I will make when I'm a lot less exhausted, and we'll talk to you guys later.